Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Lakers Fast Break Spotlight on the Lakerholics weekend. I'm Jamie Sweet. Next to me is Laker Tom. With us soon will be Michael H. from Honolulu, Hawaii. Or is it from Honolulu, or I don't know, somewhere in Hawaii. I can never remember where. And we're gonna chat some things Lakers. So let's get it done. Let's get it going. In case you, I don't know, haven't been anywhere for the last, if you're just coming out of a cave that you've been living in for 6 months. Lakers have Luka. Luka's looking ripped. Slovenia's playing great. He looks great playing on Slovenia. And, it's EuroLeague basketball rules. Oh, here comes Michael. Let's throw him on the screen. Good morning, Michael. How you doing?
Good.
We'll do this look so that we look a little less chaotic. Push that again. Or this. No, hold on. Yeah, there we go. This way I can be like, you.
We're surrounding you.
That's all right. I'm used to it. I got a wife and daughter, so I always feel a little bit surrounded. Any hoozle. What's up, 805 Dodgers? We're just chatting some Laker stuff. The NBA is in what we call at the Lakerholics blog, the dog days of summer. I'm sure we're not the only people who do that. It's a popular phrase, but
the old dog days of summer.
it's the true dog days of summer where you're kind of just waiting for camp. In this case, though, there is a giant Acme-sized anvil hanging over the NBA, and it's what are the Golden State Warriors doing this summer, which so far has been nothing because they're waiting on Jonathan Kuminga to
basically. They got a half a dozen players lined up already signed.
But it all depends on how much they end up spending on Kuminga.
Right, yeah.
And I think there's like 3 or 4 other teams that are kind of like us, also in a semi-holding pattern because they're like, well, do we need to be available?
The Bulls are the same way.
The Bulls are in the same boat.
Restricted free agency is gonna have to be changed in the next CBA. You can bet on that.
You know what's changed? You know what's really changed? Teams are not willing to pay people on potential now. They want to see. Not like they used to. They're not going to hand somebody $30 million that hasn't proven he's worth $30 million.
I think that next summer that will be put to the test. But in general, yes, I think you're probably right.
Well, that's a short-term hesitation, probably. Once they get used to the fact that guys are making 60 and 70 million, all of a sudden 30 million.
Yeah, it's like 30 million is the old 18 or whatever, and that's fine. That's not what I'm getting at. I mean, Warriors got to pay Kuminga already. They've tried. There's like a 45 million 3-year deal on the table that he's like to. And listen, I can kind of see Kuminga's point of view, and I can understand Josh Giddey feeling frustrated, but like this is why you don't want to be a restricted free agent.
Yeah, really.
The restricted free agent is the new worst contract position you can be in because once the money goes away, there's nobody that's going to take a flyer on you that pushes them over the second apron. Zero.
And if you take the qualifying offer, you may not be featured at all for free agency.
You're going to show up next season like, now what am I going to make? 8 mil, 10 mil? And you're like, and I understand Kuminga's point of view. He values his skill set. He puts in work. And like, let's be honest, when they featured Kuminga, he doesn't play terribly. He's not the greatest shooter. He's not the greatest defender, but he's solid and he's young and he's developing. And, he was part of a plan that didn't really work out for the Warriors. And that's not necessarily his fault. I don't think that Steve Kerr is a great coach for him. And that happens. And so I can understand him wanting to move on, but it's just been this saga that won't end this summer where you're just wondering, like, Al Horford's still out there. Malcolm Brogdon is still out there. Cam is still out there.
Gary Payton II.
Gary Payton II's still out there.
I think he might be one of the guys lined up waiting.
I think so.
They have 4 or 5 guys that are for sure signed up for him.
But not if they end up having to overpay Kuminga.
Well, they're not going to overpay him. He's going to end up taking the qualifying offer because he wants to be a free agent.
So you think what's the qualifying offer?
For him.
Anybody know? And yes, Russell Westbrook is still out there shooting jumpers on a yacht. Anybody see that clip? There's a picture of him. Like, I guess it's somewhere. I don't know where the boat is docked technically, but it's. I thought that was kind of.
That was the for once a month publicity stunt that his PR people bring him. Hey, off of the shore next month is going to be ship
Right.
that's got a basketball court.
Yeah, the problem with Westbrook is you live by him and you die by him.
Yeah, I mean, this, Russ, I can understand Russ's predicament here. You're a former MVP. You were the first player to average a triple-double in 50 years or whatever it was, and now you're going to take the vet minimum, 5 years later when you put all this time away. I would retire if it were me. I'm not wired to be an NBA basketball player, so it's easy for me to say, but I would retire at this point. I'd be like, you know what?
Yeah, especially a guy like Russ that only runs at one speed,
And
he
didn't
late
win a
in your
chip.
career, you don't want to be running at that speed all the time.
No,
He
he's
can't
not
help
afraid. He's not afraid to take the big shot in the
He
big
can't help
moment.
himself.
He should be.
No, he can't help himself.
Yeah, he should be absolutely right, Michael.
Oh my God, that's really
Mama
funny.
should have taught him some more about.
Nathaniel,
really.
why? Do you want to see a walking hospital full of players come up and get their butts kicked? Cool. Enjoy that game, buddy. Nathaniel something or other's like, I can't wait to see my Celtics play the Lakers this year. Yeah, great. Good for you. Celtics.
Well, I was interested in going down to that game.
Oh, yeah?
Well,
when is that?
The reason why is that because it's an afternoon game on a weekend. I can fly down in the morning, see the game like I did with my grandson to see the Suns play, and it's also happens. It's what screwed it up is that they also make that the game that they're going to put up the statue for Riley. All of a sudden, game time prices for that particular game have gone sky high.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to do that. I thought that would be a great game to come down.
Oh, because they're going to leave the crowd in a fuck Boston chant,
Fuck
so that's going to be great. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. In case anybody out there's wondering, my mug does say I am fucking radiant. So let's embrace the future that we have to resist. All right, let's talk. Listen, we've kind of gone into some things. I'd like to start. Camp is in a month, roughly.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Or 4+ weeks, roughly somewhere in there. I haven't heard that there's going to be a mini camp that LeBron and or Luka or both run. I wouldn't be surprised.
This year.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did like a buddy thing.
I like that Luka's come out and said he doesn't want to see LeBron traded. I think that's really important.
I mean, you sort of have to. I don't know that however genuine or not genuine. I happen to think it's genuine. I think it's
genuine.
I do too.
I mean, he really looked up to LeBron. He
looked up to LeBron, but you know what they say. Don't meet your idols. We're all human at the core.
Well, and you hope that both of them do their best to Of course, and they're pros. Maintain mutual respect and
they're pros. They're pros. I don't have any doubt that they'll be cordial and behave themselves, for lack of a better word, around each other. But what I'm saying, I guess, is that just because I've met people that I've idolized, and it's gone both ways. Where after the fact, I was like, I'm not so thrilled with this person anymore. Right. And then I met other people where I was like, I'm so happy that I ran into this person, and they confirmed everything that I always kind of hoped or assumed or thought or what have you about them.
Basketball skills and a good personality aren't necessarily
or musical skills or acting skills or whatever it is you admire about this person. Just because they're excellent at this one thing in life doesn't mean they're cool.
But when you run into those times when you do run into that celebrity who is just terrific, those are heartwarming. They make up for all of the a-holes that you run into by accident.
What's your your name is Gerald Glassford too. Thank you 805. I always forget to change that. I always forget to change that I'm not Gerald Glassford. I'm gonna put I'm better. I'm better than Gerald Glassford. No, I'm just kidding, Gerald. You're the best. I'm second best. Sorry, Joe. Anyhow, there we go. Hey, Kurt. Nice to see you. All right. So one of the things I've been doing, I've started, it's a slow going. Last week I meant to do one on Marcus Smart, and I started writing it, and then I accidentally, I guess my computer powered off, or I don't know. it all went away, and so I haven't gone back to it because I was a little bit bummed. I did one on DeAndre Ayton, which I thought was a pretty good discussion about, and this is on our Lakerholics blog. Feel free to stop by anytime. We chat mostly in typing, but Tom likes to post all sorts of stuff. Basically, if it's any kind of semi-relevant NBA news, Tom probably has posted a link to it and some thoughts, or if it's a paywall article, he'll like give a synopsis or copy and paste a lot of the paywall content so that the blog readers can read it without having to pay the paywall. And Tom, thank you for doing that. One thing I'll throw out quickly about the blog, since we're all here, we might want to change some of the pictures on the login that still have Anthony Davis and some of the other pictures that are.
It's slated as a project for next month.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's not anything that really bothers me. It's just I was logging in the other day. I was like, we should probably take AD off at least this one that is the most featured thing that people do, and maybe swap Luka on there or Reeves or whoever.
Yeah, well, it has been updated from a design standpoint for Luka, but there's also some functional things that I'm going to change. And
yeah, it's
but my problem right now is that I'm in the process of building a house. So
another one?
No, it's the first house that I've ever built.
Are you building it yourself, or are you asking people to help?
No, I'm hired an architect and firm to do that.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I could also see you like out on a mountainside,
Yeah. Not at my age. Not at my age. I don't do that.
Sure.
I did a lot of remodeling. It's interesting because I'm going through the process. If you and you might be in the same situation down the road. We had a house that we bought in 1980. And we sold it last year, 2 years ago. And I got to go back through 45 years of remodeling. And we did a lot of remodeling because I've always been a pocket architect, And I mean, we went through phase after phase after phase after phase, new kitchen, new bathroom, new this and that.
Yeah.
But I got to document all of this stuff. And man, the records, I don't have records for some of this stuff. So AI has worked out wonderful because you can ask AI, bathroom remodeling costs for 1988 or 1994.
And it gives you a rough estimate.
You build all of that stuff up, and it's pretty incredible.
That's cool. That's one.
The thing that's interesting.
The most positive use I've heard of AI yet.
No, I ran a couple of articles. I ran a couple of things by Grok, which is X's AI.
Sure.
And I asked him about Austin Reed's trade, and I asked him about a book, Marcus Smart, who should start, and a fucking bunch of things like that. It is incredible how impressive the final.
Hold on, time out.
I mean, it is an actual article that I could have.
Wait. Did it bring back answers you liked or answers you didn't?
It has some flaws occasionally. For example,
does it?
Occasionally it mixed up the coach and one article.
I can imagine it did.
Darvin Ham, doing something and so forth. But
sure.
Generally, and it's getting better fast. It's really organized because I'm building this ADU and I've got all these legal questions, and it comes back with incredibly good answers.
I'd be careful on some of that stuff because.
Well, the other thing that I've noticed, which is interesting because of the political nature of where everybody gets their news. You either listen to MSN. Most people listen to MSNBC and CNN, or else the other side you listen to Fox and some of the other stuff, and you never get a true picture. The main thing that I found, and I find it on X, because every time somebody makes a claim on X, either it's a claim from the left or a claim from the right. Somebody in a conversation is asking Grok, what's the story here? And Grok comes back, even though it's Elon Musk's thing. 9 out of 10 times it slams Musk totally, because
that's
the thing it does that people don't realize is it looks at all of the sources.
Sure.
So it creates a balanced response. It's going to have major ramifications politically, in my opinion, down the road, and sports-wise too.
All right. I don't want to make the show about debating the pros and cons and how AI works. In general, I will say that you are running at about a 10 to 15% chance of inaccurate information at this point in time. I'm not saying down the line, and before this year or 2 years ago, it would have been a much greater variance when it comes to factual processes and things of that nature. Now, when it comes to things like opinion, which is mainly political stuff, there's not as much fact-based information when it comes to the realm of politics. It's a little more fluid, and it had to.
Well, it's the gathering of information that is the real.
Well, it also gathers opinion. It gathers what's available. It gathers
what's available. Yeah, and usually there's two sides to the story available, which is
it's kind of freaky. It gets freaky too.
It gets freaky.
I have a friend that was going to a jazz club, and I texted her. We were having a text conversation, and I texted her.
Sorry, Kurt, that's a good one, man.
I texted her saying, Don't forget your jazz dress. And then her phone came back and said, do you want me to remind you to wear your jazz dress?
Did you? Did you wear the jazz dress?
No. I was texting her to say, don't forget to wear your jazz dress.
I want to see you in the jazz dress, man. All right.
Yeah, right.
All right.
No, you don't.
Well, let's get back to DeAndre Ayton.
So in my opinion, the DeAndre Ayton signing is the major move the Lakers made this summer. There's nothing bigger than that. You could argue that I always want to say his name wrong. It's Jake LaRavia, right? Or just Jake Lavia. There's an RA I want to anyway, I'll get there someday, Jake. I apologize. It's just I haven't seen you play a lot. That's my bad. Utah Jazz dresses. Ayton is the biggest X factor in my opinion. He has the ability to really kind of make or break the season. If he comes out and he plays 25 to 30 minutes and averages 20 and 10, which I think is possible. I don't see him playing much more than 30 minutes on our team per game. That might be an issue based on he wants to have a huge payday. He'll have to play his way up to that role. He'll have to be indispensable on defense in essence. I'm not worried about him scoring 20 points. And based on his career numbers, which are he averages about 30 to 35 minutes a game for his career, it's hard for me to see him getting those minutes on this team, especially because we're such a good small ball team with Luka. But we'll see. We'll see. Because he doesn't have an outside shot, really. He's like got a 10 to 15 feet in, I trust his shot. After that, it gets a little spotty. I was looking at his shot chart over the years, and outside the 10 to 15 foot right, it gets cool, except for straightaway 3-point shooting from the top of the key. He's like 37%. Everywhere else, he's under 30. Straight away down the middle, the longest shot you could take legally. I mean, you can step further back, but the longest 3-point shot is straight away from the top of the key. And he's like above league average on that shot, I want to say. Just above league average, but we'll just say league average. So, and Kurt, I think that he can be, I don't know about a defensive anchor. I would rather say a defensive presence, and certainly a defensive presence upgrade over Jackson Hayes. And my problem with Jackson Hayes is that he hasn't figured out how to be a quick center against bigger guys. If it's a bigger guy, he gets moved, he gets out hustled, he gets outworked. We saw that with Gobert. He could not use his quickness to overcome Gobert's strength. He hasn't figured it out yet.
He doesn't know how to time. He doesn't understand.
He's bad timing. He's got bad timing.
Timing of blocking shots.
For me, the big thing is his rebounding. I mean, the guy
non-existent.
Well, that's the big thing that Ayton is going to really. I think the big benefit that Ayton is rebounding.
He's a good rebounder, and three offensive rebounds a game for his career.
Yeah,
I mean that to me is what was really missing in the playoffs. We were just getting hammered on the board.
The whole season we missed it.
Really.
For 2 years
but
now,
it didn't hurt us like
there's going to be a lot more teams playing two bigs too. A lot more of the time.
Yeah, I think there'll be a couple. There'll be a couple teams.
Yeah,
they're all
in our area.
Cleveland plays two bigs. The Clippers will play two bigs now.
Houston's going to be meaner.
Houston's going to be big because they're just all big on that team. They're not. They'll play two bigs because that's the size of their guys. It's not that they're trying to go two bigs. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with Golden State. If they end up with Al Horford, I wouldn't be surprised to see them close the game with Horford and Green on the floor.
Right.
Two bigs. So we'll see. We'll see. That's certainly a thing. Well, I don't see a world where I don't really see a world where
I'd rather have one big on the floor than there's no bigs on the floor in that situation. At least.
Well, we'll see. So, I mean, I was going through our best lineups last year, and I took out the ones with AD. LeBron at the 5. LeBron at the 5 was one of our best lineups.
Yeah, I know.
And it's every time they put LeBron at the 5. So that's what I say when our small ball lineup is so good. It's when LeBron's at the 5. And that doesn't necessarily mean he's picking up the guy at the 5. They might slot Rui onto him, and LeBron's helping on this guy or that guy because he doesn't want to bang hard. And that's when we get
JJ likes to play. JJ likes to play guards, and he likes to play small.
I know. This is what I mean. Like, he's gonna go small at points more than he's gonna go big, I feel like. And that's where guys I don't see us playing Ayton and Hayes together.
I think we would like to go big, but we just don't have the horses to go too big.
Well, it depends on who you're going against big.
Yep.
I mean, OKC, Holmgren has trouble with physical players banging on him. He has and he doesn't have the quickness to get out on LeBron or get out on Rui. Both of those guys can blow by him. And so it's like, okay, they're playing big, but how long are they going to play? How successful? They didn't play big a lot. They rotated their bigs a lot, so they weren't on the floor together all the time a lot.
Yeah. No, they played it so there was almost always one big on the floor, but it wasn't like they did two towers.
Yeah, and Holmgren to be truly successful, he's going to have to put on muscle. He's going to have to get stronger because Rui pushed him around. LeBron pushed him around. Yeah. He's a string beam.
But he's got whereas Hayes has abysmal timing, Holmgren has elite timing. That guy,
from a defensive standpoint,
impeccable on timing.
But you can still back him down.
Because even if you push him out of the way, he's quick enough to recover and still contest. And that's something that Hayes just has. This is what I mean. Like, Hayes hasn't figured out how to use his superior speed and athleticism to his advantage in a meaningful way. And that was why I was kind of all for giving him a lot more run last year. I wanted him to get out there and just, there's no better way to learn than to just do it. So I was hoping.
So what happened to Hayes? What happened to Hayes though in the playoffs? I mean, or even late in the season.
JJ,
late in the season, though.
Well,
I mean,
that leads me to my next question. So hold on.
What did they do differently to suddenly stop Hayes from being effective? And what didn't we do
of things
to counter that?
Well, a couple of things. So this is. I didn't want to make this one about JJ Redick, but I have a lot of things that I've got a lot of hopes and I've got a lot of with JJ coming into the season. So Kurt Affair, long time listener, long time poster. Kurt's here all the time. Thanks so much for being part of our chat. Kurt, you're one of our best. How much will we see Maxi Kleber at the 5? Now, one of the moments in the playoffs where I was like, we are doomed, was when in the middle of the second half of Game 5, Maxi Kleber gets put into the game. And it wasn't in garbage time. It was like halfway through the third quarter. And we proceeded to be like 6 points down to 15 points down. And from there, the game was over. And I will never forget thinking, what in the name of hell is JJ Redick thinking right now? Does he have money on this? Is he trying to throw the game? This is a guy who hadn't played in like 6 months. And you're putting him into action for the first time as a Laker in a can't lose game in the second half.
It was a repeat. It was a repeat of starting playing all half with the same team.
It was the third. It was like
he would have been better off putting Len in.
He would have been better off just putting in one of the two-way guys if you could.
But that was funny. It was the
third panic move of the playoffs that he did.
Third. What was the third?
The first was the everybody for one half.
Right.
The second was no. The first was completely. In answer to your question, we went away completely with what got us to the third seed or I forget what we did.
Third seed.
Third seed. Thank you. We stopped playing Goodwin. We stopped playing Hayes, and we went 8 deep as opposed to 10 deep, and we burned out in the fourth quarter of every single game because the guys who ran through walls for you didn't get to do that. The guys who took the hits for LeBron and Luka didn't get to do that.
Right.
I'm not saying playing Goodwin.
That's also on those players because those players also did not perform.
Go back and look at when Goodwin actually got minutes. It was not until Game 3.
Yeah, but Goodwin. The one thing that Goodwin did every game that he came in until late in the season and the playoffs was make his shots.
He didn't get
Always
shot. He
made
didn't
his
get
shots.
shots.
He
in
didn't
the
take
playoffs.
shots, Tom.
You're not even looking at
missed
stats
shots.
now, Tom. Tom, you're not
He
looking
got
at
one or
stats. I'm
two
telling
shots
you,
and he missed it. He didn't get long enough stretches to do more than that.
he played 20 minutes a game for us in the regular season on average, around 18, and that dropped to I think under 9 in the playoffs, and that was only because of garbage time. That was only because of fourth quarter garbage time.
But you're see, I'm not willing to get into a discussion over. I will agree that JJ made some bonehead rookie mistakes.
There's three.
But at the same token, I
moves.
don't happen to think those mistakes. First off, he was given a roster that was totally horribly flawed, and secondly, the players did not perform. The only player who played up to par at you could argue was probably Rui. Everybody else on the team really did not perform up to par.
Yeah, Rui's been solid every playoffs for us. He's always solid. That's what I love about Rui.
And that's his third straight elite playoff run.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to trade him.
It's only one game, only 4 or 5 games, but
but all of them he shows up. So I'm going to put this up here only because it's funny. But oh no, it went away already. Never mind. There was a really funny. Kurt, you had a funny one, and I agree that it might have been too much for the blog. Anyway, we'll move on. The 3 panic moves went away from what worked for you in the regular season completely. I understand that you have to change things up. You have to go based off of matchups of the playoffs, but you can't just forego your identity. I thought that was panic move number 1. Panic move number 2 was playing 5 guys for 24 minutes straight with no substitutions. I thought that was just insanity. And third was inexplicably playing Maxi Kleber in Game 5 when there was no reason to.
But all of those came from the lack of confidence in the roster that he was given, the flaws that the lineup had, and the thought that if one of these moves could pay off, I understand all of those moves. They're the kind of moves as a coach that I've always tried to make. You always try to do. There are certain times when you gamble at a certain player or a certain, like playing those 5 guys all that minutes. If we had turned around and won that game, the whole thing would have been a different kind of gamble.
We scored 16 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. Like, I don't live in the world of if. Like, I could come up with 8 billion ifs for every single thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
Jamie, you always go with the most conservative.
Not conservative, real. That's 2 different things.
Sure.
It's 2 very different things.
That's all in there. It's all in your head, man.
Sure. All right. I mean, you show me somebody who isn't all in their head, and I'll show you an alien being. I'm serious. Oh, it's as if it's all in my head, but not also all in my head.
The one thing about Jamie's position is you don't have to think about it.
I think
trade or no trade. Actually. No trade. Anything good happen? Nothing's going to happen. Anything good happens, it's a surprise. Anything bad happens, that's what I expected.
You can go back and look at what I've said if you would like to actually see how this debate should unfold. But
we know that you say you're staying. There's not going to be a trade before the deadline.
I don't think there will be because of
if the Lakers don't make a trade before the deadline, they will not be able to even if Giannis said he wanted to come to the Lakers next summer, the Lakers wouldn't have enough money to trade for him.
That is incorrect. That is incorrect, and this is one
they'd
of the
have to do multiple sign-in trades.
Not necessarily.
No,
they'd have cap space to bring part of that salary in.
This is what I mean. And I'm not trying to say this is not just you, Tom. This is how I perceive the NBA world at this moment in time, and that is because the NBA world in this point of summer is designed to do one thing: generate bullshit articles that people read because there's nothing to actually talk about. And so we get this constant stream of like LeBron's tweet from the golf course crap that I cannot even bother to give a moment of my time to because it's a waste of it.
So don't give a moment of your time to.
I don't. I scroll right on by. I scroll right on by 90% of the stuff I see online. I'm like, no. Oh, there's something out. No, it was just it tricked me into thinking it was something, but it's actually just more.
Well, one thing I have to give you, it's easy when all you have to do in life is copy and paste your same answers to everything.
It's not what I do, but that's cool.
On the subject of trades before the season starts, this time of year now, it'd be incredibly difficult. I mean, people are, they got their, for the most part. I mean, there's exceptions.
Kuminga's situation changes that. don't you think Kuminga's situation changes that a little bit though? Because
here's the deal with most of the teams, not all, most of the teams.
Okay.
Their rosters are set. They got 14 or 15 guys. In some cases, they're still over and have to get rid of guys.
16 or 17 guys.
And everybody's up against some kind of cap. Some kind of cap that they don't want to cross. So at this point, it's going to be very hard for somebody to take on a couple of guys and only give one back. A 1-for-1 trade could possibly be easier, but a 2-for-1 or something like that would be very difficult to under certain people would have to cut more people, and we don't have a lot of draft capital to grease the wheels. So
we got nothing.
It's going to be it would be a really difficult thing. The kind of trade I could see coming is a need trade. Somebody has a contender that has somebody blow out one of their guys blow out, and they got to replace him, and they have something we want. I could see that. But,
yeah, I mean, I guess EuroLeague if somebody gets hurt in EuroLeague or something like that, like, okay, sure. But like in general, I think most rosters are set. It's the Golden State situation is fairly unique. I feel like I'm not saying it's never happened before. We've seen guys hold out because of money issues before, but we're not talking about like Charlotte. We're talking about Golden State with Steph. Like it feels a little bit like, oh, this is a little bit surprising that Kuminga feels this strongly that he wants to leave.
Plus the
a winning situation. Like
but he knows he's not going to get the minutes, and if he signs he's going to be an unrestricted free agent next summer if he takes a qualifying offer. And if he takes a qualifying offer, Kerr's going to play even fewer minutes.
Another thing coming from the Golden State side is this is the brave new world of the NBA that tax thing is so punitive now.
I agree.
That they're watching themselves saying, hey, we can't go over this because we'll get hammered.
Well, look what the Celtics did. The Celtics basically dismantled the championship team.
Gutted the roster.
After they sold it.
Gutted the roster. Like,
boy, that was like a scary job of maximizing your profit before you moved on from that team.
But that's the reason, Tom, that watching what the Celtics did and watching what Phoenix did this season is the reason why I think draft day, and again, I know you think, oh, Jamie doesn't like trades and he just says no to every trade, and that's not true. That is not true. I say no to like 98% of trades.
Well, I agree with you. They're not going to trade one of the first round picks at this point. They're not going to.
I don't even think they'll. I think they'd have a hard time talking themselves into trading it at the deadline because of how.
Well, they're not going to trade it at the deadline. They're not going to. They're saving that pick for next summer.
That's what I think as well. And because we have no picks that we're likely to include, again, all of this.
Well, they could trade the 28 swap.
Sure.
With a brand new Luka contract, that's going to be worth what?
You're going to get.
That's who you trade it to. If you trade it to somebody like you're not going to trade it to the Hornets, for example. But
you're not going to trade it to the Hornets.
But if you trade it to the Thunder
or the Cavs,
the Thunder is looking to move. The Thunder have picks that they want to move to later picks.
That's an interesting. Sure, or get rid of picks. I think, but they want to.
It has to be to a team that really can believe that they're favored ahead of you getting them. They're going to be the one swapping the pick.
So Kurt says the second apron has taken all the fun out of roster construction. He adds the oven. I disagree with that. I think it's just made it more challenging because we've seen two schools of thought. In 1 year alone, we've seen the Matt Ishiba, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. We're winning it this year. Oh wait, we're not.
Well, what it's done is it's made the formula for winning to be the Thunder formula, which is
I don't think that's true
instead of superstars. Don't put all your money in superstars.
I think it's diluted. Its intent was to dilute the talent in the NBA. It was to allow teams to not consolidate veteran talent.
Right.
You can consolidate young talent. You just have to prepare yourself for that reality. You have to have a lot of guys who are impact players on rookie scale deals that you can sign.
And the big question the Lakers really need to answer is when they go to use those 3 draft picks on draft day, what are they going after? Are they going after a big name veteran superstar with a big salary like that? Or are they going after a bunch of guys like the Pelicans have that you could go after Herb Jones and Trey and the forward, the 6'8" forward? They should be going after young talent like that rather than experienced.
The problem is that everybody's going after young talent like that, and a lot of teams can outbid us.
Sure.
But so here's the thing: this is where the Lakers can't. So this is my theory, and whether people agree with it or not, that's fine. I don't really care. I don't. I think the Lakers are prepping themselves for three things. One, that LeBron is going to drop his news about the season on media day. He's not going to say before. He's not going to wait. He's not going to do a tweet in summer. Come media day, we are going to get some kind of answer, even if it's the stock standard LeBron. We'll see at the end of the season. If he says, we'll see at the end of the season.
Well, if it's going to be his last season,
playing another season. If whenever LeBron says, I'm going to assess my options at the end of the season, you know what that tells me?
He's playing next year.
He's playing next season after this one. So if LeBron says that,
he wants the farewell tour. He
deserves a farewell tour. As much as Kareem or Kobe or Bird or anybody else, he deserves a farewell tour. And
we agree with you, Jamie. Go on. What's the next point?
My hope, and please, LeBron, listen to this fan of yours right now. My hope is that he says, "Been talking to my family, and this is it. This is it. This is my last season. So, Charlotte, Miami, Orlando, New York, get the days ready, man. My last game there this season is my last game there, and that's it. I'm hanging him up after this. I'm saying it live on TV right here. He's not going to do another special.
Goddamn, all the NBA refs ought to give him the best season he ever had.
That's what I'm saying. Like right before camp, right when he'll see how he's feeling. They'll have hopefully done a mini camp to kind of gel a little bit. They'll have been doing some camp stuff leading up to it. That's what I think we'll hear from LeBron. I know everybody would love to hear because there's nothing to talk about anyway. So everybody would love to hear an announcement now. It's too hot of a potato. It's not going to happen right now. I think we'll hear what he's doing for next year on media day. That's my opinion. I also think he will retire. I think he's going to say he's going to retire because he's not going to get max money from anyone. And he is not. And we're going to see this with Russ, and we've seen it with Russ. We've seen Russ who values his skill set at a much higher dollar amount than he's able to recoup or to earn on the open market. And that's just, even if LeBron is an all NBA player, who's going to give him $50 million as an unrestricted free agent in free agency?
Who would have the money to do that?
Very few teams are going to have the money to do that to begin with. And if
any good team won't have the money.
And that's the other thing. It's not just any team. It's a list of like.
I don't want to see LeBron playing for another team.
I mean,
I don't want that. I don't want that either. Man.
I would rather he retire. I'd rather he
retire in purple and gold next year.
He might sign
if he wants to play more years for a Lakers, I'm perfectly happy with that. And
what's the dollar amount?
I'm sure they can work out something. But I don't want to see LeBron wear another uniform other than I want him retiring as a Laker.
Let's talk about this real quick. Michael, what's the dollar amount? If LeBron said, I want to play one more year, I want to do it in the Lakers, what's the highest you go?
$30 million.
That would probably be what I was thinking too. It really depends. It depends on.
It's half of the max.
Yeah, it depends on what we see from this season.
If we won a championship.
If we had a kick-ass season, maybe you pay him more. If we didn't, and you need to really retool and bring some guys in, then you pay him less.
I think we'd have to win for him to come back.
Yeah.
But I could see the scenario, Jamie's scenario, that we go through the whole tour and we win the championship. And Luka says, LeBron, one more year, come back. One more year. One more. Let's repeat.
Right.
So do it.
So that's the thing. So for the Lakers, draft day will have so much weight based on what LeBron does. Because if LeBron says
there's not going to be any LeBron trades. That is
no.
Bullshit.
He's never been traded. He doesn't want to be traded. No. It's why you put
never going to happen.
Right. It's why you get the no trade clause in your contract. It's because you're putting it out there. I would really like to stay right where I am, or at the very least, be able to say no to some bumpkiss trade like that I saw.
Well, not only that. I mean, LeBron. There's
No
no
way
place
LeBron's
that we
playing
could
for 20
trade.
mil.
There's no place that we could trade LeBron to
No way.
that would be better off for him than with the Lakers.
I don't know about that. Oh, for him?
Yeah, for LeBron.
don't
Where
think
is he
Golden
going to
State-
go and have a better chance to win?
Golden State.
He's not going to have a.
No, he
unless
wouldn't
goes
have a
to play
better
with
chance.
Joker.
State.
He's playing with Luka. He's going to play with Joker.
I mean, he's
They
not
can't
enough.
afford him. They
Or
can't
SGA.
afford him.
They'd have for Golden State to get him, they'd have to trade Butler.
Yeah, I think LeBron's not
And
trading Butler.
LeBron might be a step above Butler, but he's not enough to lift that team to a championship level either.
I don't want to see LeBron on the
he's
Warriors.
not.
That's
You don't have
good.
the, they don't have the.
So much depends on Steph's health, though. So much depends on Steph's health.
It's 8 guys now, Jamie, not 2.
I hear you. I hear you.
I hear
you.
What did you say, Michael? Michael, say that again.
It's 8 guys now, not 2 guys. And so I mean,
right.
There would be a dynamic duo, but you need a lot more than a dynamic duo these days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never been just about the dynamic duo on any great team, but I think that Steph and LeBron with Green, and if they bring back Gary Payton III, and if they have Al Horford, that's an interesting closing lineup to me. That's that.
Yeah,
that's
if they
very,
stay,
and if Steph stays
those guys
healthy,
are going to be there at the end of the
That's-
year.
that's the key for every team. Everybody's like, "Oh, OKC had this wonderful season. They had one guy who was hurt."
Age.
I don't. Hey, listen.
Let me tell you.
This is the first year I've truly felt my age, and it's annoying. It's really annoying.
I haven't been able to hike for the last 3 months because my back has been killing me, and
So let me ask you this, Jamie.
Yeah.
Who's better for LeBron to play with, Steph or Luka?
Oh,
At this stage of Steph's career, who's the better player? I think Luka is the
really
better
close.
player.
If Luka's hitting a lot hinges on how Luka comes into the season, because one of my issues with Luka the last season was his inefficiency from 3-point land. I think as a Laker, he ended up shooting like 34%. And that was
But that's not the whole story.
well, hold on. That's a small sample size, and he was not himself. His leg was clearly not 100%. He's gotten himself into shape. He's looking better now. He just dropped 39 points in EuroLeague. I'd be curious to see what he shot. Because LeBron thrives when there's another shot, like Kyrie. Kyrie could hit shots from all over the place. It opened up LeBron's game enough that he was still super duper effectual. Reeves isn't that guy. I know Reeves wishes he was that guy. I know Reeves wants to get paid like he's going to be that guy. But if you're honest with yourself, Reeves is not that guy. He's a step or two below Kyrie. He's certainly 3 or 4 steps below Luka or Steph. And that's not a knock on Reeves. That's like most of the
he's
league.
the third guy.
Most of the league is a
Jamie,
step
not the second guy. You're comparing
You
him
know
to the
what-
third
what
guy.
Luka-
Luka's doing though is what he's doing in the league, and where his quickness is really helping. I've been watching all of these highlights and looking at the stats. Like last game, he shot 9 against France. He shot 19 out of 20 free throws.
Yeah,
And
because he can get
14
past
out
the
of,
man.
he is getting into the paint a lot more now.
It's interesting to see how his lightness. I was a little bit worried that he would be knocked off balance,
Yeah,
but he's
did he
still
get
got
his
enough. He's got enough bulk still in his
No,
overall body.
he still has that Joker type of body.
Like you hit him in the air and he goes, and you go, wow, the other way. And then he calmly makes a shot. I'm loving this version of Luka. I'm not going to disagree. Steph is so steady he can destroy any team. The problem is that like the Warriors, like the Lakers prior to getting Luka, have to ride Steph like a dead horse in the Kentucky Derby.
Luka's gonna lead the league in scoring this year. I don't have a doubt about it.
Yeah, I don't. I think he's got a pretty good chance to do that. I think SGA will give him a run for his money.
Yeah.
But health is the key to everything. The Thunder were relatively healthy all last season, other than Holmgren, and he was healthy when it mattered most in the playoffs and down the stretch.
And the youngest team is a stat.
The youngest team is stacked with great talent. And they had Hartenstein to fall back on, and he's just as good as Holmgren for the regular season. Holmgren was, I thought, an elite defender for the playoffs. All right, let's move on from overall general discussions. I want to go back to DeAndre Ayton for a second, because I really do feel like so much of our season is riding on his, for lack of a better word, his attitude. When DeAndre
contract year,
broke onto the scene,
year.
sure,
So
but even when he was, even as a rookie, even as a rookie, I thought he played with like a lot. It looked like he was having fun all the time. He kind of reminded me of Joel Embiid, but like less annoying on on the social media and interview front, because he was just like he's from the Bahamas. He's cool. He's laid back. He just wants to he wants to play basketball and then go play in the ocean. Like that's dope. I want to do the same things too. So like, but then you saw over the last season and a half, 2 seasons after they matched his deal in Phoenix, he wasn't having fun anymore. And then you saw him not having any fun when he got traded to Portland. And since then, he's looked like a shell of himself. I mean, he still puts up numbers, but it's not – the vibe isn't the same. I want him to come back with that Michael Thompson vibe. Another guy, another great player from the Bahamas, Michael Thompson, father of Clay. Clay was technically born in America, so he's not a Bahama guy. But I think he goes to the Bahamas a lot. If you've never been to the Bahamas, you should go. It's fun. It's relaxing. It's a great place to go. He needs to have fun. He needs to be somebody who is enjoying the game of basketball, because you can clearly see that when he's not, he's just not there. He's not there he's physically there, but he's not mentally there.
Yeah.
And that's a problem on a championship team. What do you guys think? Michael, I'm going to let you start.
Another thing he's never played with guys like LeBron and Luka before that is going to demand.
Well, he did well with CP3 when he had him. Then that's the one.
Yeah, and then he was great. He was great.
He was great with CP. He was an all-star.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got that, and also one added thing, he calls Shaq uncle.
I know,
because he grew up with Shaq's son, and they played basketball together, and they're very close. So you've got that other presence there pushing him, kicking him in the butt as well.
Well, there's no doubt he's our biggest wild card. If he can come through, that gives us a huge lift.
Yeah, huge. And Jamie made a good point. The defensive presence versus he may not be the greatest shot blocker in the world, but he's a big body in the way,
right?
And he's quick enough to stay in the way.
Yeah,
and you got to shoot over him. And not only I read something interesting about him as well. He could probably get more blocks, but he's really good with his hands, and he's really good at stripping in the post. He gets a lot of steals.
He can defend in space. He moves his foot well. He moves his feet well.
Yeah.
He's got quick hands, like Michael says.
I think he's going to be.
Can he stay engaged? Can he stay engaged? Is the big issue.
This is what I'm saying.
I think he will. I actually, and he's only, he's not that old yet either.
It's a contract year. It's a contract year for the guy.
I mean, he has to show. He needs to show
badly. He needs to.
He has to show. Or so he's going to be.
That brings up what I think is the second most important, or maybe the most important player that we're still missing.
Hold on. One last thing about DeAndre Ayton. He's only 27.
Right.
This is supposed to be the beginning of his prime years.
Right.
So we could be getting on a bargain deal. Somebody, I forget who said it. YYC is saying, "I'll be happy if he averages 15 and 10." I honestly won't. I won't be happy if he only averages 15 points a game. That means he's only probably playing 20, 25 minutes a game, or he's not engaged.
Well, not necessarily, Jamie. You've got. He's going to be starting with. I mean, look at it this way. You've got Austin Reeves averaging 20 as the third guy on the team. You got Rui that can score. He can go off in any game. So you got 4 other scorers on there. He may not get the opportunity to score more than 15 points a game, not because he does. Just because of the offense around him. There's going to be scorers everywhere. So
true, but there's going to be also a lot of lobs to the basket that are going to be open, rebounds that
exactly. No, but I'm just saying that he doesn't have to score 20 because of just the sheer amount of offense that's surrounding him.
When you look at his skill set, it's really his strength is really offensively. What he's showing that statistically. He's an offensive center, really. Now, the good part is that he still is averaging a block a game, and he can get some steals. He can defend in space. He can switch pretty well. So it's really that engagement thing. Can JJ as a coach and can LeBron and Luka as the players bring out the competitive spirit so the guy is engaged in every game? If we can do that, then he'll be a huge plus. We still need a second center, man. We need a second center to.
Well, we're gonna have to roll with Hayes in two ways for this season. But yes, I tend to agree that we need. I would rather have a more mobile, not more mobile, somebody who can shoot better. I would even take Vukovic because Vukovic can hit the three.
I would take Vukovic. A stretch center would really be a help for us.
That would be. They're
going to turn Kleber into that.
I hope so.
Hopefully
I have my doubts.
Work.
I have my doubts in season, but those are the kind of trades that I would be in favor for. Kleber for Vukovic, one up.
We've got $20 million in expiring contracts for one-way players that are doing nothing for this roster, and then we could have Vukovic as a second center. That would be.
I think we might disagree on who's a one-way player, but sure. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the other X factor. Well, one last thing. YYC has a question, and let's just answer it real quick. Is DeAndre Ayton a top 10 center?
In the West, yes.
Potentially.
15 games.
I want to say he's like 9. I want to say he's the 9th best center in the NBA right now, and that's if everybody's healthy. If Embiid plays, I think DeAndre Ayton's better than Brook Lopez.
Oh yeah, it was a much bigger get for the Lakers than Lopez.
Well, but Lopez blocks a lot more shots than is a.
Yeah, but I would be interested to see what the field. I'd be interested to see what their overall defensive impact in the paint is. I only weigh block shots only weigh so much to me in my equations because they look great, they look fantastic on the stat sheet, but we're talking about 3 shots, 4 shots.
Yeah, but Brook is a legitimate defensive rim.
He's a legit defensive presence, and he can hit the 3.
I mean, I would take Ayton. I would take Ayton because of the age potential and the.
I was going to say at Brook's advanced age, he's not switching very quickly anymore.
Right. No. I think Ayton
is out on the perimeter or he's down in the paint.
Ayton is going to give us better center defense and help the center rotation.
And he's going to run the floor much better.
Darren,
With Luka, that's huge.
Darren, if Max Kleber is getting major minutes on this team, there's a problem somewhere. All right.
Well,
nope. There's a problem.
If you look at, you can go through the whole summer and listen to the comments that you've got from people coming on certain players as to who's going to possibly be important and who's not going to be important. When I read the rumbles going through the league, I think it's obvious that Vincent is on his way out. He's not going to really be a part of it. I think that they've also lost a lot of faith in Vanderbilt, and I think that he's not being trusted for anything in going forward. And I think that there really is a strong feeling that Kleber, because of his outside shot and a stretch big, is going to be an important factor. He could be the number.
He's neither. He's neither of those things. He's like 6'8".
No, he's not. He's taller than that.
He's taller than that. All right, whatever.
Yeah, he's like 6'10".
Yeah,
and he's been an underrated defender, Jamie. He's been decent.
He's an overrated 3-point shooter.
Maybe, but he's well. Last year he's had good years shooting.
He had one good year. It was a contract year. I guess this is a contract year, so we'll see.
But we don't have anybody who does what he does. He has a skill set that really fits.
And we're not talking 20 minutes a night here with him. I'm thinking more like maybe 10.
Yeah.
If that,
Okay. I don't know who this guy is.
Play 5 out with him, and JJ wants to play a lot of 5 out.
DIV X-ray says at Lakers fast break, all caps. I am an X. Now we're lowercase. Mavs fan. Telling you right now, all caps. Max is awful. Lowercase. He is the worst player. Is not NBA player. There is a reason they gave him in the trade. He's literally awful. I don't know about all that. I'm not at that point to Max Kleber. I think that his 3-point shot is overrated. I don't know if he's underrated as a defender. I haven't seen him play enough minutes. I don't know what his role is. His role on the Mavs is certainly going to be very different than his role here on the Lakers. That has a lot to play with these sort of things.
He's a good end. I look at it. He's a good end of the bench guy.
Sure,
he's not worth $11 million, but
he's a good end of the bench.
Either is Gabe Vincent, so.
That's why I would easily take $20 million expiring contract from Vucevic.
I mean, if Gabe is your 10th or 11th guy, he's a good 10th or 11th guy.
Sure, he's a good backup point guard at this point. I mean, I feel bad because there was a stretch in the middle of last season where I thought, he's here. This is the guy we traded for. And it was during that run where we were like, we had a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense, and we were mowing through the league. It was when LeBron was like captaining the defense like a demon. And then LeBron got hurt and everything fell apart for Gabe Vincent. And he was never that was it. He was gone.
Yeah, Vincent brought the defense. He brought the defense for most of the year. It was his offense was just so spotty.
For like a third of the season.
His offense got to the point where it was unreliable, completely
unplayable.
And he was so good early in the season, and it was such a surprise that it fell off like that. I mean, some guys, slow decline, and he just was like a cliff, man. All of a sudden, he couldn't hit anything, and there were months before where he would come down and take a long three. He'd be going 4 for 6 from 3. Yeah. But that is the nature of the 3, isn't it?
Anyway, another thing, and I didn't know this either.
Live by it, die by it.
Maxi Kleber's 33 years old, so there's not a lot of upside there. All right, so this might be his last contract, if we're being honest. Same with Gabe. These might be their last.
He'll be lucky to make it past the mid-season trade deadline.
You know what? Max Kleber, after this season, if he doesn't, get another deal next season in the NBA, he's going to have a great end of his career playing for the German national team. He'll make a good deal. He'll make $10 million a year playing in front of the home crowd. That he's very familiar with the language, and I think that's a fantastic way for him to end his career. I don't expect literally anything out of him this season. I will disagree. I think the Lakers are actually looking for a big bounce back season from Vando. I think Vando's looking for a big bounce back season himself. This is the first summer where he's been able to be on his feet
for 2 years.
In 2 years. Yeah. So, I listen.
Whenever he came back, it was mid-season.
Yeah, and listen.
It lasted one game?
I was not thrilled with Vando's impact last season. I thought that he lacked lift. I thought he lacked speed, and I thought he lacked confidence.
Lacks confidence on offense, man.
But I think that's because he was getting his feet under him and his legs under him.
No, his body he was getting his shot blocked in his face every time he went up.
Because he had no lift and he had no speed. I think if he gets his lift and speed back, because there's 2 Vandos. There's the one that we've seen for the last 2 years, and then there was the one that played under Coach Ham that came over in the Westbrook trade. And the one that played up until he got hurt the season after that. If we get that Vando back.
I don't think there's a spot.
And the one that destroyed
not a spot on this roster.
And the Vando that destroyed the Celtics.
There's a world where Vando challenges for the starting 3 spot, in my opinion. I think that's a tough hill for him to climb. He would have to shoot tremendously, both inside and out for him. He would have to score close to 15 points a game to beat out Rui for that starting spot. I think it's Rui's spot to lose. There is a world where I see, and we're about to talk about this guy, and then I think that'll help us wrap it up. I think there's a world, speaking of the starting lineup, where Marcus Smart beats out Rui Hachimura. I don't think anybody's knocking Austin Reeves out of the starting 5 unless he gets hurt. If
or unless he volunteered to do it.
He's not going to volunteer.
We'd be too small, Jamie. We'd be too small.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm just saying, based on what I've seen Coach Redick do, both in the playoffs and the regular season, I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised, I guess. I'm not saying that I think it's going to happen, but if Marcus Smart is shooting 35 to 40% from 3 in training camp and playing the kind of defense that we saw him play towards when he was on Boston, there's a world where you move Luka to the point 3 and LeBron at the point 4, and you got Ayton, and you just roll with those. You roll with that, and that's potentially your best defense. That's your most balanced starting 5, and that's not a knock against Rui. That's only if Smart can outperform him both from the 3-point line and on defense. That's what you have to do. You have to play better.
It also helps the bench scoring tremendously.
Of course it does.
Yeah,
and you can put.
If you put Rui or Reeves in the bench, move Rui or Reeves to the bench and start Smart, you are smaller. You are smaller in size, but it's almost like to a certain extent, JJ thinks that's an advantage.
No, I agree, Tom. That's
I mean,
it's a little bit.
Coaches have We all have biases. I was a guard, and as a coach, I probably did the same thing. I played a lot. You either have three. Either have three front court guys or you have three backcourt guys. Those are the two kind of lineups you make together. So you decide what kind of coach you are. And JJ is a guy who's basically the small forward is really a backcourt guy than a front court guy.
In front of me, this is balance. Vando does not have to. I think you mean Vando does not have to score as much as Rui. That's what I'm assuming you mean here, because otherwise it doesn't make much sense. Vando does, I'm assuming, not have to score as much as Rui. Why? Ayton will make up the difference. Y'all forget Hayes isn't starting, ? No, but you can't play 4-on-5 on offense all the time. Yeah. And when Vando is not aggressive, when he's
that's the key thing that you just said, Jamie, is he gets so meek when he gets a pass. He should be slamming the ball down with a dunk, and he gets.
I want to see him doing that as well. I want to see him
passes out immediately. It's so frustrating.
Well, I hear you. Reeves needs to be better to stay on 5. YYC prefers the starting lineup. He'd like to see Tom, Luka, LeBron, Smart, Rui, and Ayton. Let's talk real quick about Marcus Smart, and then we'll wrap it up. Tom, I'm going to start with you. You're probably the biggest supporter of Marcus Smart on the blog. Look, if we hadn't gotten Ayton, this would be the second biggest. And I feel bad, Jake. We never talk about you here on this show between the three of us. I swear, next time we do a show, we will talk about nothing.
He could be as important. He could be as important because he is a true small forward.
Yeah,
he's a combo, Tom.
He plays both
positions.
He can defend
just like Rui. He's like Rui. He's a combo guard.
Yeah, I think he's a lesser version of Rui Hachimura he's like a better version of Luke Walton.
Go to Basketball Reference. He guards 2s and 3s.
Right, and Rui guards 2s, 3s, and 4s, sometimes 5s.
Rui guards 4s. He can't guard 3s.
Oh, bull! That's crap, man. That is such crap. I don't know where you get that from.
Why do you think that they want to replace Rui in the starting lineup?
They don't.
Because he's out of position.
Where are you coming that from? They don't.
You want to replace Rui.
You want to replace him.
Yes,
he should be the power forward. He should be guarding power forwards. But we have LeBron James on the lineup.
Viewers, if this is
nobody blows by him.
No, yeah, okay.
His biggest problem was always Tom.
We will not finish the year as a starter on
his rotations. That's where his problem was. His rotations, not on ball.
Time out. If you're a first-time watcher of the three of us here on our show, this is the dynamic. Tom thinks that I say no to everything and don't want any trades. Tom thinks that whatever he thinks is what the coaches in the organization are thinking. Not that they might think, what they literally are thinking, that his brain is somehow connected to what's going on inside the Lakers war room. And that, and he'll write it that way too. The Lakers' next move, and it's like, you mean the Lakers' next potential move? Oh, the thing that they might or might not do? And I get it. You're trying to speak it into existence, LeVar Ball style, and that's wonderful. I want to talk about Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is an old guard. He's 35, 34?
32.
Oh, I just added.
He's 32. He's been injured a lot the last 2 years.
Not a lot. He's been injured a lot.
Last year, his defensive statistics have been excellent.
That's what I want to focus on. If we get again, it's the same thing that we talked about with DeAndre Ayton in a lot of ways. If we get the engaged, in it to win it version of Marcus Smart, who can stay on the court,
he is the second most important.
He's the second most important, if not first, because then you get that. If he can hit 35, just 35%.
If they can merge their two minds together, he's exactly what DeAndre Ayton needs.
Sure, I would say the same.
Screaming at him every time down the court.
Well, and I think Marcus Smart will. And that's the thing that I'm looking at. I'm looking for that.
That's why Smart should start.
We'll see about that. I think that he might be.
He's got heart, man. He's got.
I know he's got heart. The thing is this is my thing. Is that I know everybody. The chat says it every once in a while. I've seen articles by hoopsworld.org and ilikebasketball.net and wonderful bastions of journalism of that nature who are like, Reeves should come off the bench. It's not.
Reeves should come off the bench for this
going to happen. There is no universe where he will volunteer for that duty because what has Reeves done consistently since leaving college He has doubled down on himself every single time. Double down, double down, double down again. And every time the bet pays off. There is nothing.
You know when he might? Let's say the season starts off great, but Reeves doesn't start off great. And let's say Marcus Smart starts off great and Rui starts off great. And Reeves, let's say, can't keep up the offense and he can't keep up the defense. And I can actually see that Austin Reeves is the kind of player who
I agree.
I agree he doubles down on and gambles on himself, and he's not afraid to double down on himself. But he's also a kind of guy that I could see come to the coach and say, it's pretty obvious that we need more defense, and Marcus Smart can provide that. And the bench needs a leader to really ignite the offense. And I could see him doing that. I don't think that's a very logical thing to happen, of course, because none of these guys have egos that are anything like the egos that we would imagine.
You're demoting me? Great coach. Thank you. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
But there are players like that in the league, and Austin Reeves is that type of character of a player, in my opinion.
Possibly, but not in their contract year.
Not in the contract year, and the type of guys you're talking about are usually on the. It's like the Chris Paul. Chris Paul, I think, in his heart of hearts, if you put him in front of a mirror and he's alone in a room and you can record what he's saying to himself, "I'm a starting player in the NBA." The brain has now interceded his heart and says, "But dude, you're not going to get a contract. You're not going to get a contract if you put that out there." And so he accepts that he should come off the bench. He may even suggest it to the coach, which is a nice way of saying the coach and he were like, "Right, we agree on this kind of, right? You know."
There is a universe that exists that this could happen, JB. I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to see it happen, but I think there is a universe that can exist.
I think it's a small universe, and I think
small universe. I'm not.
I don't think it's
with crisp, clean rotations. You don't necessarily have to have. You can have an offense heavy starting lineup for 5 or 6 minutes.
Well, and we're talking as if LeBron and Luka are just going to share the court together all the time, and then they're not going to stagger their minutes and things.
Everybody's going to get staggered.
Everybody's going to get staggered. I think Smart is the first guy off the bench. Makes a ton of sense. It lets him be instantly in the running for most improved player, 6th man of the year, potentially defensive player of the year again if he can be a great defender off the bench. It's all the things that he wants out of the end of his career, and it really just makes a ton of sense to me because for every argument that says like, well, we need a guy like Reeves to come off the bench and score points, we need a guy like Smart to help the bench not fall off a cliff defensively. And so for every argument for, I can see an equally valid argument against. And I think that a lot of this is going to be decided in camp. I have a hard time believing that the Lakers have held on to Reeves this long, that Reeves has doubled down on himself every time. And for them to say, you know what the best move for you and the team is for you to come off the bench. Because it drops his trade value, which is high already based on his contract. And it doesn't do him any favors in free agency because he wants to maximize his dollars, and I get that. You want to get
I think Marcus Smart comes in for Austin after 5 or 6 minutes. They had Luka playing the whole first quarter.
I think they have Smart come in for LeBron. I think they have Smart come in for LeBron so that you get the defensive impact or consistency. But you're
going to have the same defensive impact if he comes in for.
Yeah, that's true. Austin. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see.
I think LeBron will come out fairly early too. So
I hope so.
I wish they would just make 7 starters, and then just start 5 of the best matchup for every single.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, they do. It's kind of funny in basketball that they don't do that. I mean. Baseball, they do.
Baseball, they do. This guy hits
left-handed lineup, hitting lineups, right-handed lineup.
But that's platooning. But that's usually platooning that does that because it's left and right-handed hitters.
Sure,
usually. But seriously, there are teams where we would match up better with Smart starting, and there are teams where we would match up better with Austin starting. There are teams where we match up better when Rui was maybe not starting. You could have 6 starters if you could add a center, a backup center. If let's say we got Vucevic, for example, you could add Vucevic and Smart, or you could add Andrew Wiggins and Smart as 2 additional starters to the 5 we have right now, and you could always find the optimum matchup together.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's validity to that. I think with the NBA, there's such a mystique and an aura and a a pedigree. If you're a starter, do you know what I mean? And so it's a lot different than baseball. Baseball,
Well, that's a salary differentiator is the thing.
It's a whole bunch of things. It helps
Yeah,
you.
but the Lakers, it'd be interesting. I've seen teams do it. I've seen a lot of teams do it with 6-man, where they'd have something like that. And there are teams that have done it with centers, they're small ball teams that will do that. It's like watching teams, for example, do hockey rotations. Bring 5 guys out and you got 5 fresh new guys in there, and it confuses the other team's defense. And
sure, I think with the NBA, it's a little bit different just because of how substitutions happen.
Yeah. What's more likely than Reeves being benched?
Every other sport,
Reeves is more likely to be traded than he is to be benched.
Every other sport, there's so many more opportunities to bring a guy other than baseball. Baseball is weird. You have to do it in between innings, I think.
Well, and when you take him out, he's out.
And then when he's out, right, you take him out, he's out. That's it. He doesn't come back. Football, this guy comes off between plays. That guy comes off between plays. Hockey, you don't even have to stop play. You just have to make sure you come in and out right at the same time, which I kind of wish basketball would be like that. That would be kind of an exciting – that would be an exciting way. Fast breaks would take on an incredibly different dynamic if you could do that in the NBA. But I digress. It'll never happen. But it would be interesting. It'd be interesting if there was like an and one league or something that was like,
don't have the ref touch the ball after every basket.
I mean, that would be another thing that would speed up play.
Grab the ball and fire away.
Or let players fight for the get it out of bounds while the other team that'd be great. We'd have a scrum under the basket before the ball was even inbounded, just like hockey. You'd have to have elbow pads and a face guard maybe for that one. I digress. I think that with basketball, it comes down to there's starters and there's finishers, right? And then in between, it's the rotation, it's the coach, and it's a little more fluid. If you're not starting,
the variations.
I think if you're not a starter or a finisher in the NBA, you're somebody who's worried about your next paycheck. Let's put it that way. If you're not,
so is Reeves a starter and a finisher, or is it Reeves starting and?
Are you asking? Hold on. Are you asking?
Circumstantial.
Are you?
Do we need to catch up?
Are you
do we have
asking
to cut a big lead, or do we have to protect the lead?
Are you asking what I'm thinking, or Michael's thinking, or are you asking what the Lakers are thinking?
Well,
I already two very different things in my opinion. In my opinion, I think Reeves is like a 6-man at best. Like he's an elite 6-man. He's an average starter. He can't hold his own on defense.
I think he's an above-average starter, but he is is a super elite potentially as a 6-man. He could be.
I don't know if he's an above-average starter.
He could be Ginobili.
I think the problem with Reeves is defense. I think that he doesn't have the defensive instincts, and he doesn't have the body to make up for a lack of defensive instincts.
He's not the ideal. He's not the ideal backcourt mate.
No, he's
backcourt with Luka Doncic.
He'd be great. He'd be great on Charlotte if they didn't have LaMelo Ball, and they're like, "Hey man, here's the ball. Go score 25, 30 a game." He'd do it.
He's more likely to be traded than he is to be benched. That'll solve the problem.
Oh, that's an interesting.
I know you don't want to trade him, but
I don't know how I feel about that. That's an interesting. What do you think about that, Michael? I got to think about that.
I don't think his contract's high enough that they would do that.
No, but he would be,
because I don't know what the return would be.
No, but
if he has a good year.
If he's balling out, right?
He's at 30 million right now. He's worth 30 million right now.
I know. I'm just saying. He does. If you're going to trade him during the season, he doesn't have a big contract.
No, you have to pair him up with a Cleaver.
You have to pair him up with others, and then you got the problem. It's complicated this time of year.
No, He is obviously one of the pieces for a superstar trade when you put him up to 30 million.
I never told you what my theory was, and I put it on the blog, but I'm going to put it right now. The reason the Lakers aren't going to make a consolidation trade, there's 2 more things I want to talk about, then we'll call it a show. I'm sorry that we usually cap it at an hour, coming up at an hour 20 here. So I know we all have lives to get back to and houses to clean and houses to build, and whatever you do in Hawaii, Michael. Watch lava, I guess. Play with the dolphins. I don't know. Eat a coconut. Have a banana. All right. So my theory is that the reasons the Lakers are not going to make any kind of move this year is that on one day, one magnificent day, we will have both a wealth of expiring contracts and 3 draft picks that we can include in a trade. And that day is draft day next summer. Draft day next summer, I predict, will be a seismic day for the Lakers. Not any time before that. And after that, it kind of depends on what happens on draft day. Because once draft day happens, you can't trade Reeves and your 2026 first-round draft pick anymore because you picked your 2026 first-round draft pick. And that pick is now gone. And you can't trade that guy because you can't trade those guys right away.
Well, so 3 days. 3 picks and 3 swaps to move.
Oh, you have 3 days after. Oh, that's good. I did not know that, Mike.
30 days.
Oh, 30 days. They can't be traded for 30, or they can be traded for 30.
They can be traded after 30 days. Rookies, draft picks.
Still, most of free agency is done by then. It'd be interesting. It'd be curious if somebody waited that long for our late first-round draft pick.
Yeah, unless they had a deal in place.
Not impossible, right? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it feels unlikely. Unlikely. So that's my theory, that there's one day where the Lakers are going to have way more assets, and after that, we're back to waiting years for the next for another draft pick to materialize, because all we do is trade them as far out as we're legally able to do so. So we're always waiting 2 years to get another one to trade.
Yeah, we just paid off Anthony Davis.
I know. We finally got out of the Anthony Davis mortgage situation. We bought the house.
We're like a kid with a fresh new credit card, man.
I know, but that's fine, and that's the.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with it. I don't disagree with you on that. I happen to think that they will not make a trade that involves a first-round pick. They're not going to trade that first-round pick because they want those 3 picks.
It's very possible. You could say like Kleber for another, but you're not going to get anybody good. This is
well,
the thing.
But they have a second. They have the 2032 second-round pick, and they have a 2028 swap that they could do, which would not affect the 3 first-round picks.
I have to say, Tom, I admire your commitment to trades. Really. I don't agree with it, but I admire your commitment.
First off, you're looking at a couple of things that don't make sense, because they have the expiring contracts this year, not next year.
No, that's why. But they don't expire on draft day. Draft day, they don't expire yet. They don't expire until 2 days before free agency.
Yeah, but any draft day trade, the chances of 90% of those draft day trades have to wait until the next year to happen.
Nope. So this if let's say Giannis flames out, let's say it's another first-round bump for Giannis, or let's say it's a first-round bump for Jokic. If they say, trade me to the Lakers, I want to play with Luka, Denver might balk, Milwaukee won't. If we have 3 first-round draft picks, Reeves in a sign and trade, Rui in a sign and trade, and other expiring contracts, so that they also free up cap space. That's we're building our team on the flying move.
But then Rui has to agree to the trade, and Reeves has to agree to the trade.
If they are making if they get the money they want to get, they'll agree to the trade. This is because the Lakers, and this all hinges on LeBron, right?
Giannis basically has said that he's staying in Milwaukee.
Sure. Well, for now, for this moment in time, yes.
And I don't even know.
You're wrong about the expiring contracts, man. They can't use this year's expiring contracts as part of the trade unless they're signing trades.
But we have 30 days. We have 30 days to trade the signing. This is what I'm saying. That
30 days to sign the rookie draft.
I think that they're. I don't think they want to. I don't think they want a superstar.
They'll take a superstar.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they want 3 anymore.
I think the odds, but you got to have a superstar who is going to demand to be traded to you.
And
I think the odds of that next summer are high. I think there's 3 potential superstars that could ask out. Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic are high on the list of guys who.
I would not want Embiid, and I don't know if the Lakers would want Embiid.
Nobody would want Embiid.
I don't know about that.
Come on, man. His contract and his knees.
I agree with you. Listen. We're talking
you know,
about
instead of
Rob.
those guys, give me
We're talking
Herb
about-
Jones. Give me.
We're talking about Rob Masterclass Pelinka, as Tom likes to call him, until he throws him back under the bus 2 days later. But Rob Masterclass Pelinka, who wanted Russell Westbrook on the team.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Embiid is one more knee injury away from retirement.
I agree he is. I'm not saying you're wrong.
They would not do that.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't do that.
No.
Under no circumstance.
You hope they would not do that. That's what we should be saying. You hope. None of us
Nothing's
know.
absolute, but that is as close to absolute as possible.
All right. I've had this question up here for a while, and this is the last thing I wanted to get to. We didn't talk enough about Marcus Smart. We'll get into Marcus and Jake next week. I'll have dropped my article on Marcus Smart, and we can reference that. There's a lot of advanced metrics that show that Marcus Smart could have a really high impact on the Lakers defense. There's also as many metrics that show he could be devastatingly inefficient for the offense in the same way that Bando is, and or has been. So it's a lot on those guys to show that they can score at an average NBA level.
Marcus has never been afraid to shoot. Bando is totally afraid to shoot.
Yeah, and I kind of wish Marcus would shoot less.
That was been one of his big knocks.
It's been one of his problems. And he's like, I got it, you guys. I got it. I don't know why I keep missing, but I got it. I'm not afraid.
That's been one of the biggest criticisms of him in his career.
He just doesn't
he doesn't always have the best shot selection.
It's god awful at times. It's like, I don't know, there's two guys on me. Kobe. But you're not Kobe, bro. Okay, you're not Kobe. Learn your role. See your limitations. All right, this is a funny one. I think it'll be quick. I have an answer to this. I'm curious what your answers are. Who gets more minutes, Adu Thero or Dalton Connect? Tom?
I actually include Connect in the tradable players.
Of course you do.
Yeah,
and he should be, because next season.
And I think Adu, because of his defensive ability, will get a lot of opportunities. He get more minutes.
We'll see if he can score. If he can't score, he won't. Michael?
He can score.
Here's the deal with Adu. Yeah, and I'm excited about this kid. And another thing, there was 2 rookies last year in the running for Rookie of the Year, and they were both second-round picks.
Yeah.
And Adu was mocked at as a first rounder in a lot of places. So he was a great acquisition.
Yeah, jumped a huge jump.
He's a tough defender, and here's where he differs from like Vando. Yeah, he hasn't really developed an NBA three-point shot yet, but he's a terror at the rim.
Yeah,
you can't knock him off. I mean, I've seen him dunk, and I've seen him bully inside. The guy's strong, and he's not afraid. So you may not get that stretch from him, but you're going to get some interior score. He's a slasher. He can cut. That's where he's going to get. He's an upgrade over Vando as far as offense is concerned. So I'm going to say him.
Not rotation minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say him. Just Dalton really is going to have to get his confidence back to get back on the court. He really lost it.
I'll say this: if Dalton can't hit shots, this is it.
Yeah,
you're out of the NBA when that team option comes.
He's being traded. He and Gabe pencil in $15 million.
Well, the thing about Dalton, though, is if he's going to bring back anything substantial, he's going to have to get minutes and prove that, I can still shoot.
No, I mean he's expiring money next summer. He's a team option. The team controls it. Whatever team he goes to.
But
it's not a lot of expiring money. It's not a lot of
as a sweetener. If he's going to be a sweetener in a trade,
I don't know. I think
right now he's being his value is at
we have an easy schedule, so hopefully we'll showcase him a little.
Yeah, we should.
At
least during training.
Garbage time.
Yeah, or
take 10 threes. 10 threes.
Play him a lot in preseason.
It's a game. God, what do you want him to be, Marcus Smart? All right. So on that, I think that evidently Dalton and Adu are going to be battling to see who can just chuck it up the most, and hopefully some of those come close to the range. Darren Coolidge says Adu has a mid-range game. I've always been a fan of the mid-range game. Also been a fan of post play. Those things are on the outs currently in the NBA. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some guys try to bring them back a little bit. I've always wanted to see LeBron and Rui get put in the post more. I would like to see Luka get put in the post more because they know how to use their bodies and move guys off the position. At any rate, we'll see if that happens. I kind of doubt it is because I don't know that analytics just has too firm of a hold on people sticking right now. Kind of like the same with baseball, where it's like, well, if you're not hitting a home run or even hitting the ball, it's like, actually, yeah, you are, but whatever, okay. We won't shoot for singles anymore. Let's just shoot for slugging percentage because I don't get it, but whatever. And it gets boring to me to watch the same shots go up time after time. But that's me. Some people love to watch 3-pointers go in. I prefer to see sweet moves in the paint. But that's me. I'm not here to critique anybody's.
Some people evolve. Some people's game still shooting at peach baskets.
I think it's still a peach basket no matter where you stand. But whatever. I digress. I'd like to thank Laker Tom and Michael H. for joining me this afternoon. Morning started in the morning. Now we've moved on to the afternoon. We'll try to get together next week, I think. I think, sure. As we start to move towards the season, we should kind of go through the roster a little bit, bring up certain guys that we'd like to see do this, that, or the other thing. We got through a lot of guys today. There's a few guys. I'd like to talk a little bit more about Jackson Hayes. I think he does have a potential role on this. We'll get to all that another time. Thanks for watching. We're down to 9 of you, but we're up to 12. The number's been fluctuating. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to Gerald, Joe, Sean, Stone Hansen, the entire Laker Fast Break team. And everybody have a wonderful day.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Adios.